What is up, guys? It's Andy here. Welcome back to Painfully Honest Advice. So as you can tell from the background behind me today, I want to go over the top 8 stocks that millennials are buying right now. And I can tell you the top 3 were actually very surprising. But before we get into that, if you are new to my channel, my name is Andy. I make videos around business, personal finance, and investing. So if you like any of those topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down there. And if you like this video, just tap that like button as well, as it really does help get this video in front of more people. Now, I do have a quick disclosure because I am not a financial advisor, but what I will tell you guys is that I did a lot of homework and a lot of research to find the top 8 stocks that millennials are buying right now. Now, I love this topic and I love making videos around the stock market. I invest in the stock market myself pretty heavily, so these stocks were actually pretty surprising to me as far as what millennials are buying right now. Now, I am going to go through this list from number 8 down to number 1. So let's go ahead and get started with the list. Now, number 8 on the list that millennials are buying is going to be Netflix. Now, Netflix recently has had some really strong and quick growth. Because of the pandemic right now, everybody's watching movies at home. And hey, that's the reason why this stock is actually up over 50% this year. Now, recently, I actually just watched a movie, Netflix versus the World. So check that movie out if you guys do want to find out a little bit more history as far as how Netflix grew and how Blockbuster could have took over, but they didn't. And as far as this stock goes, this is a stock that I do see consistently growing over time. Now, Netflix currently has over 167 million customers, plus they're in over 190 countries. So this stock has just been consistently growing, and they are the leader when it comes down to entertainment and streaming service online. So Netflix at this point has built a really strong brand, and I can see why millennials are attracted to it because we're all watching Netflix at this point. Now, this is my second favorite entertainment service behind YouTube. Okay, but let's go ahead and move on to number 7 on the list. Number 7 is gonna be Nvidia. Now, Nvidia is very popular amongst the gaming world. Basically, they're one of the biggest platforms that provides gaming processors, and one of the biggest processors that a lot of people in the gaming world know about is called GeForce. So they're very big in that space, and I can see why millennials are attracted to this because, hey, it goes down the road of video games, and video games lately have been extremely popular, and you can make a lot of money on playing video games. But as far as Nvidia goes, they've been around for a long time at this point, and they are a pretty solid company when you look at their financials. They've actually started paying out a dividend, and they've been growing their dividends for the last 7 years. Now, currently, their dividend is a bit low, but I can tell you guys, as far as the growth level goes, they've been consistently growing their dividends for the last 7 years, and they've been growing their dividends at 13%. Plus, Nvidia year to date is actually up about 45%. So as the economy is going downhill and the stock market is declining, stocks like Nvidia are growing. So that's a very good sign for the long term, and I can see why millennials are investing in this stock. And in general, just the tech sector overall has been outperforming the S&P. So this is a sector that I do see is more recession proof. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump into number 6. Number 6 on the list is gonna be Amazon. Now, I can totally see why millennials love Amazon. I mean, we all buy stuff on Amazon every single day, and practically at this point, I buy literally everything on Amazon. Now, Amazon is one of those growth companies that has been growing at such a fast pace, and I can see them taking over the number 1 spot when it comes down to biggest market cap and the biggest company in the world. Now, Amazon is currently the biggest retailer for online shopping. Plus, their stock year to date has been up over 30%. And this is honestly one of those examples of a rags to riches type of story. Now, Amazon practically went bankrupt back in the day, and when I say back in the day, in the last about 7 years, but they came back around and they had figured out logistics, and at this point, look at where they are today. I mean, they are growing at such a high pace, and because of this pandemic, I do feel like this has actually sped up their growth by 2 to 3 times. Because of the pandemic, people do not want to go out to grocery stores, so I can see Amazon just taking over a lot of other industries in the future. So this is a long-term stock that I can see millennials getting into and investing for the long term. term. Okay, but now jumping into number 5, and this one might not be as much of a surprise, but this one I am a bit biased on as well. But jumping into number 5, what investors, or I should say millennials, are investing into the most is gonna be Tesla. Now, Tesla is basically a car company, but to me, it's more of a tech company than a car company. Tesla personally is one of those companies that is just innovating electric cars and full self-driving vehicles. Now, I do personally own a Tesla, so I am very biased with this, but I can tell you guys, as a millennial, this is a company that I can just see down the road being a huge growth company. And Tesla is actually up almost 300% in this last year. Now, this is a company that has been growing at extremely high pace. And there's a couple different cars that Tesla's still coming out with that Elon Musk has announced, which includes their pickup truck, it includes their semi-truck, and it does include their Roadster as well. But I do have to say, when Elon Musk can send a tweet out saying Tesla's overpriced, I mean, he can take $40 billion off of the stock price just by one tweet. I wonder what he can do if he's saying Tesla is underpriced. But okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next stock. Now, the 4th stock on the list that millennials are buying, and this one's not too much of a surprise because I think we all use this platform, is gonna be Facebook. Now, Facebook does own the 3 main social media platforms that I'm sure that all of us use at least one of those, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Now, Facebook did take a big hit when this whole pandemic showed up and when the stock market went down, but at this point, it's basically back to its highs where it was before the pandemic. So I can see why millennials are investing in this because we're all using one of their platforms at this point, but this could be a great growth stock down the road, and I just don't see Facebook going anywhere anytime soon as well, because even if there's another platform that comes out with Facebook and all the money that they have in reserve, I can just see them buying out whoever tries to overtake them. Okay, now just jumping into the next stock, and the top 3 stocks were a bit of a surprise to me, but number 3 on the list is going to be Aurora Cannabis. Now, this is the largest cannabis company in the world and in Canada, and basically they make medical cannabis products, and they're located at this point in over 25 countries, but they are headquartered out of Edmonton, Canada. Now, cannabis is an industry that basically took a huge boom, and in the last couple years, they've been on the decline. But at this point, this company is starting to make a bit of a comeback, and they just recently reported their earnings, and in the last quarter, their earnings were over 55%. So this company has been on the rebound, and at this point, this stock is currently trading around $10 per share, but with their revenues and their earnings being increased by 55%, I can see the stock just going higher and higher. But this is a cheap stock to purchase, so I can see why millennials are getting into the stock. Now, next, let's go ahead and jump into number 2. And the second stock on the list that millennials are buying is gonna be Carnival Cruises. Now, Carnival Cruises is another stock that's fairly cheap right now. They're currently trading at around $12 per share. And year to date, they're actually down about 75%. So this could be a good strategy for a long-term investor if you believe that the cruise industry is gonna rebound. Now, Carnival Cruises is the largest cruise line in the world, and basically 45% of people that go on cruises go on Carnival Cruises. So long term, I can see this stock being a great growth stock that's highly and heavily discounted right now. But personally, in the short term, this could be a huge risk, but hey, it could be a huge reward down the road. So expect that the stock will probably end up going down a little bit more, but as soon as we get out of this pandemic, I do see the stock rising and going back up, because who doesn't like cruise lines and who doesn't like cruises? I mean, personally, I love cruises. All right, and now finally, the number 1 stocks that millennials are investing in right now, this was a bit of a surprise, but it is Anivia Pharmaceuticals. Now, Anivia Pharmaceuticals is one of the 2 companies that's actually doing human trials for this current virus that's going around. And basically, the other company is Moderna, and both of these stocks are up significantly this year. With Anivia, they're actually up over 300% year to date. So basically, this company's main focus is to treat create cures and fund different medicines. Now, this could be a great company within the healthcare sector, and if one of these companies does find a cure, I can see that stock just skyrocketing out the roof as far as their share price goes. So that is going to be the number one stock on the list. Now, the top three, like I said, were a bit more surprising to me, and some of the other ones I could kind of expect them to be there because as millennials do currently use a lot of these products. But fam, if you are new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down there, and I'll keep you guys posted with all the latest stuff in the stock market. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Plus, I do invest in a lot of these stocks, and I do have my stock portfolio, which is in my private Patreon account, where I share every time I buy or sell a stock. So if you want to check it out, I do have a link for that in my description as well. But thank you guys for watching. Love you, fam. I will see you guys at the next one.